All right, so here is your Beta 95X you just got. It's going to have a Naked Hero. The Hero mount will be attached. However, the camera will actually be in a different package. When you do get the Hero and want to put it in, you'll slide it through into the mount, checking that it clears and doesn't get snagged on any of these holes or extra weight reduction slots. And you're just going to make sure it fits all the way down in there. It shouldn't take a lot of force. Right here, it's actually, like you see, it's coming out, so we just need to get it pushed into the mount, get that mount kind of around that edge of the corner, and now it'll drop all the way down. The glass front lens cover and everything should seat 100% down. This LCD should seat pretty much perfectly in that window, maybe slightly down below it like this one is. And then the USB-C should be fully attainable to be able to push into. Talking about the USB-C, you have a regulator that's attached to a USB cable, and it's got a quick disconnect. This disconnect could get caught in a propeller if you're not using it. So if you're not using it, I suggest you use a zip tie and you zip tie it somewhere out of the way. I do recommend flying the first few flights without the camera. If you're not shooting something you need this Hero for, it's a very expensive piece and it's very delicate. Watch the other videos about it, and yeah, only use it when you need it. That being said, you can fly this without the camera in the sleeve and just leave the sleeve. It shouldn't be an issue. You also could just take the 3 screws out of the mount and pull the whole camera off, leave it in its sleeve, and screw it back in whenever you want. These are going to be 1.5 millimeter drivers that you need. You should invest in a good driver set if you don't have one. 1.5 and 2.0 are good drivers to have. They're just hex torque drivers, or not torque, hex drivers. So that's what you're going to use to take off and put on the camera whenever you want to take the whole thing off. The bind button on this unit, you can't see the bind button, but it is right here, and you can feel it. Wait, I'm sorry. It's right here next to the USB cable. So on where the USB is plugged in, right to the left of it, which is towards the rear, if you push in, you'll feel the little button. It pushes in when you push your finger in. You just literally right there, you just squeeze and you can push it in. It's super easy to do. You can feel it. When you do plug this in to bind it, you'll plug in the battery. Next up, when the red light turns green on the Vista unit, oh, I'm not looking at the light, sorry. There it goes. When that light, I don't think you can see it on this video, you can see the flashing flight controller light, but there's a green light in the Vista unit that I can see right behind the USB. I'm going to push this side button right here, like I said, which is right to the rear of the USB. And it turned red. Now you can see it because it's red. So this is now wanting to bind. You're going to get your goggles. And you're going to power your goggles on. And you're going to press the red button right here. After the goggles boot up, and you'll get the bind connection between the two. There we go. Now we can see it turned green right there where it was red. Next up, we're going to take our radio, and we are again going to push this button, which is again to the rear. So this part of the TPU right here, we're going to push our finger, just touch it, and boom, you see it turn red. Now to bind here, we're going to hold the record button, we're going to hold this wheel, and we're going to hold this button right here on the right, and we're going to do all 3 at once. Ready? 1, 2. There we go. It's now bound and ready to go. All right, next up, we're going to talk about how to set up the battery and put the battery on to keep it out of the prop. if you accidentally kind of get out of, get it kind of squirrely, or you have the wires a certain way. So we're going to put the battery, and for yours, we're going to be using, sorry, there it is. We're going to use this battery here. It's a 525 style. And we're going to put it in with the back of the battery towards the back of the aircraft. We're going to center it on the aircraft, and then we're going to get just a little bit towards the back. And the reason we do that is the extra weight of the camera. If you're not running the camera, you're going to run it dead center. We want even weight distribution. Now, the other thing we're going to do is we're going to take this balanced lead, and we're going to put it right between the red and the black of the battery. And then we're going to run that battery backwards, or that battery plug backwards. And now we can plug it directly in, making sure that we're not going to make contact backwards. We're going to get proper polarity, red to red, black to black. And now we're going to push that plug all the way in. And now we have everything nice and bundled up underneath. It's not going to get in the props or anything. So now that it's powered on, we can power the camera on. Like I said before, we're going to use that button. It might take a second for it's not going to power on because we don't have power. So the next thing is, again, that disconnect. If you have it and you're using it, you shouldn't have to put the zip ties or anything on. But if you're not using it, you're going to want to definitely put a zip tie on it and get it out of the way of the props, because these props suck air in. So this can easily get cut right there, and it's going to just get smashed, and then it can short and cause all kinds of problems. So we're going to connect this cable back on, and now we've got our USB. It's going to plug our camera in. We saw the red light, and now we should be able to power it on. All right, so we have now, there's the camera's powering on. It takes a second for all the battery to get up, everything to get in there. Because the Wi-Fi was on, it's wanting to check everything, so it was kind of booting up. All right, now that we have this, I'm gonna try to get up. There we go. I'm gonna take the battery. All right, so I'm gonna do this. This is actually not very safe. I do not recommend you ever do this on your bench. Do not arm the aircraft in front of your face, and especially with the battery not attached fully. Again, this is just for testing purposes. I wanted to show you all of the controls for your aircraft. So we have your radio right here. It's the DJI radio, if that's the one that you got. And we have the radio set up with arming switch on SB. When all of the switches are away from you, they are off. When they are down, they are on. Arming, disarming. The next switch that you need to know about is going to be the switch on the right side, which is SC. This switch is going to be your mode switch. When it is off, you are in full manual or acro mode. When you are in the middle, you are going to be on angle mode. This has a preset angle of 55 degrees currently that you cannot go past with roll or pitch, meaning you cannot roll it or flip it over. It also, when you let off the sticks on the roll and the pitch and on the yaw, well, yaw, it doesn't matter. When you let off the roll or the pitch, it's going to stabilize itself and try to level. It's called self-level mode. It will not actively keep the throttle at hover. You must always adjust this throttle. Yaw, left and right, will spin the aircraft. Right and left roll, again, are rolling the aircraft. Pitch is pitch forward and pitch back. When you are all the way down on the mode switch, you're going to be what's called horizon mode. This means that when you let off the control stick on the right, it will self-level. However, you can full deflect and roll or flip. It will roll and flip when it is all the way down and is in what is called horizon mode. So again, all the way up is acro, full manual control. We are in a stabilized angle limiting 55-degree mode, and then now we're in a stabilized but unlimited angle mode called horizon mode. So that's the way that you're gonna activate all the different features. You should be flying in manual mode all the time. Maybe a little bit you could practice with stabilization modes or line of sight, but I always recommend acro mode as the mode to fly. It's just the way that these aircrafts are meant to fly. It's the entire point of being in three-dimensional immersive space. So that is how you're gonna arm your aircraft and use your aircraft. Make sure you hit the record button before you take off. So here we go. We're gonna go take off, and it does not have an SD card. It's telling me sorry, but if we would hit that button. If you had any other questions or anything, let me know. And I hope you enjoy your new little toy. Fly safe, fly smart. Just fly.